Who's over there? Do you see Haney? Okay. Yeah. Brian Haney, raise your hand, Brian Haney. Okay. I want you to go grab a seat over there. I'm going to call you up. Go sit at that table over there, because I'm going to call you up. Give you some TV time. Okay. I'm going to call up a U19 Legion coach, 2023 or 24 state champion. To run me through.
How many zone titles?
Huh? Yeah, if you go down there, I'll call you up. Here we go. We're going to start tonight's presentation. That way we get you home in a decent time. So grab that last slice before we start. Feel free to get up during the event and get what you need. Big man. All right, here we go. Welcome to our second biannual West Hartford Amateur Baseball Association Hot Stove and Hall of Fame event. We got a great program planned tonight. I'm Rick Sanford. I'll be taking you through the first half of tonight's event, talking baseball. In the second half of our event, our WABA President Eric Mallinson will be leading you through the Hall of Fame inductions. I've got some housekeeping and some business thing we want to take care of first. First of all, make notice of your exits in the event of an emergency. Our exits to the left, to the back, and one over here as well. Parking validation. If you've parked in the garage, unfortunately, that's a private held company, so we have no jurisdiction over there. But if you're in the lot, you don't have to do anything tonight with validation. The machine is not working, they told me, so there'll be no ticketing. I know a lot of people got tickets last event, but I think we took care of just about all of those, so no issues. I did mention about the raffles and any donation, everything here tonight, any donation, any proceeds from tonight will go to the West Hartford Food Bank. My last order of business, we have a birthday boy here with us tonight. Not only did he graduate from Hall in 1972, but tonight he turned 72. And he says, what am I going to do? I can't make this event. It's my birthday. I said, well, we're going to get you a cake. So, Bill, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Bill Darty. Happy birthday to you. Gotta come over. You gotta come over and light those candles. Hustle. She's coming. So, Bill, thanks for joining us tonight on your birthday. And this does not count as a date night for you and your wife, so just remember that. I do want to mention one other guest we have. We have a lot of people that have come a lot of distances, especially out of Florida, Maine, anybody from any other state, New Hampshire, I believe. We have one gentleman with us tonight that was part of that 1973 team that we honored 2 years ago, and he was not able to make it. He's here tonight. So Jimmy George, congratulations. Yeah. So by the way, Laney Burke says you just got the date mixed up, and here you are tonight. So yeah. So anybody that does not know that much about WABA, back in 2006, we started an association called the West Hartford Amateur Baseball Association. All of the different programs in town on the Big Diamond came under that umbrella. So if you hear the word WABA and you're wondering what it is, it's just the association, and it's the association that's holding this event tonight. What makes that group really special? And I hear this from people outside of town, not necessarily in West Hartford, but it's the volunteers, the amount of volunteers that we have that keep coming back. So I want to just take a minute, because it does take a village, and we laugh about this event like it's planning a wedding, and it kind of really is. That's why we do it every other year. So I just want to name off some of the folks that really helped in this planning. Danielle Weiss, Dan Lebrecht, Eric Mallinson, Chris Nelson, Chris Sanford, John LaSpada, Carrie LaSpada, Lynn Simon, Mike Simon, Mark Jelly, Sean Farley, Sean McCann, and myself. That is your game day operations group that's here that did all the stuff tonight. So. Yeah, well, I have a couple minutes. Just special thanks to this year's Hall of Fame Selection Committee. I think we had a lot of fun doing it. We would meet on Sunday nights virtually, and we had a lot of applicants, and we spent a lot of time searching information on players and coaches and all kinds of people. So Steve Blanchfield, is he here, Steve? Steve has responsibilities, I think, at the Hall Connor game tonight. He'll come here after. Eddie Lidos. Where's Eddie? Stand up, Ed. If you don't know Eddie, he is a walking encyclopedia, everything West Hartford athletically. So in your programs, if you see a little verbiage in there, most of that came from him, which was made it very easy for us. So he did a great job. So I know you had a lot of fun doing it. Lenny Burke. Lenny Burke, stand up. Lenny was part of the inductions in 2024. Dave Francis. Dave Francis is here. Yep. Gary LaRock. Eric Mallinson. Sean McCann and myself. That was your selection committee for this year, which was a lot of fun. Staying with the volunteer theme for 1 minute, we do have a few WABA awards. I stole this from George Grant. I think he started the ESPYs, so we're going to have WABA awards. Some people we want to recognize over the last year, the volunteers. What happens behind the scenes is just incredible, whether it's putting up batting cage nets, taking down batting cage nets, running out to the field because we got a big game, and doing some zip to get the grass down away from the field, or moving equipment around, or even tonight volunteering to do the raffle. So I just want to acknowledge these guys that have just done a lot of volunteer behind the scenes that make us what we are today. So I'm going to call off your names, and then when I do, I'd ask you to come up. Chris Nelson. And one person I need to call up right now is my wingman, the U19 American Legion coach, championship coach from 2023 and 24. You're going to help me do this thing up here tonight, so come on up, grab a microphone. This next gentleman has been a big volunteer last couple of years, whether it's, again, making sure the field and the players have what they need with equipment, volunteering to do stuff for Tobacco Valley, throwing BP on a Thursday night. Whatever we need, he's there, and we couldn't ask for a better volunteer in 2025. So Scott Charlo, come on up. This next gentleman, he's got a thumbprint on just about everything that we do. Those programs that you see in front of you, he put those together. I know he does the post-96 summer program. He does the Hall program. He also, we have hitting that started on Saturdays, started 2 weeks ago. I think we go about 8:20 in the morning, and we go till 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and he's like a maitre d'. He's got these slots all set up with the kids. He makes sure we got the guys throwing. So he's just really a great volunteer, and we couldn't do it without him. John LaSpada, he's here tonight. Yeah. And one last gentleman, I know he's not here, is Brian Haney. Brian took over Conard High School. For those guys who probably are at Conard High School and saw it happen, he just really made that field really in great shape. All the equipment's in top-notch shape. They've got everything they need out there. So I just wanted to recognize Brian Haney for doing what he does over at Conard. So thank you guys. We appreciate your volunteers, and enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you. Yeah. All right, we're ready to start the program. We're going to bring up our two high school coaches. It's a great opportunity to listen to what they have to say. Entering in his third year at Hall High School, Nick Sanford. After spending 20 years at Northwest Catholic, he recently stepped down. He must have known there was another job opening up in town here, and he was recently named the head coach at Conard High School. And let's give him applause. He's got those red sneakers on. He's ready to go. Corey Carlson. So, Corey, can everybody hear? Just test. Can you hear that okay? Yeah. So, Corey, you're moving just across town from Northwest Catholic over to Conard. I mean, what are your expectations now? Do you know what your most important game is on your schedule?
Yeah, I've heard what it is. I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm from growing up in Berlin, wearing red's never been a problem for me. It's just now the biggest problem is getting rid of all my green and white, so just replacing it with red. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to staying in West Hartford, having the opportunity to coach a new group of kids.
Seeing a lot of the kids come up through winter workouts and our fall transition program, we always joke around and we'll ask the kids, raise your hand if you're going to Conard, raise your hand if you're going to Hall. And it seems like your next 2 years, you're going to be loaded with players coming up. So you've got a bright future ahead of you. What's your plan right out of the gate? What do you want to do with these guys? What's the type of thing you want to change over at Conard?
We want to win. I've come from a program where I've been fortunate enough to be able to win games and, compete in the state tournament, and I'd like to kind of bring that winning attitude over to Conard. There's been a lot of great athletes and great ball players there over time, and we're just hoping, I'm hoping with the guys that I have in place and some new guys that I've been able to bring in to help out, that we could kind of change the culture over there a little bit and give us a little bit of a competitive edge and have some more success.
Good. So, Dick, your second year last year, 2025. You had a pretty talented group. Had a pretty good regular season. Did some damage in the CCC conference championships. You beat the eventual Class LL winner, South Windsor. You beat them. You beat Wethersfield, which was the #1 team at the time. And then we got beat by Southington in the finals, which was a pretty good game. But then first round of the States, we had a very disappointing loss to Manchester. So how do you regroup from that? What do you tell the guys going forward? What was the difference that day?
What day?
That day we got beat. The day that you fired me and told me never to come back.
Yeah, I was going to say, you remember that day. Banished him to the end of the dugout.
Yeah.
I think last year, and for the guys in the crowd that are here, we didn't really know what to expect. We had a lot of younger players, juniors and sophomores that didn't have a lot of experience. We had a tough schedule. We lost about 9 seniors who were starters, so we didn't really know what to expect. But we set the groundwork back in February of last year, and the kids took it and just ran with it, and had a great, really good, successful season. So just building off that, we have a great core group coming back of seniors. I have a core group of 5 senior captains who I've turned really over everything to them to kind of take the charge from the front. And then our junior class is just really loaded with guys with experience who've been playing since freshman year. So I think our experience this year is what's going to really give us an edge going into this season.
So I took a look at the schedule. There's no cupcakes this year. You've got every game is a big game. How do you manage that with your pitching staff?
Yeah, it's just going to be next man up mentality. You can't obviously get through all these games with using the same 3 or 4 guys. So we have a lot of depth, and we're going to use it, and that's how we're going to succeed.
So Corey, a lot of guys right now I know could be playing basketball, hockey, indoor track, but what do you tell your baseball players? What should they be doing right now to get ready for baseball? I think of all the sports in high school, baseball might be the one where you get the least amount of time to get ready before your first game. What should you guys be doing right now?
Yeah, some type of motion, something with their body, just to keep their body moving. Some baseball-related activities. I mean, different kids now. It's different because kids play in so many different programs. They have so many different opportunities, and there's so many different philosophies that you kind of have to, as a high school coach, adapt to, or at least listen to what the kids have to say, and you have to be willing to kind of change what your thought process is, but just being consistent with at least some type of workout. Some kids might be throwing a little bit differently. Some kids might do hitting drills a little bit differently. As long as they're doing something to keep their body in shape and just not showing up the first day, not ready to go, because that just doesn't work anymore.
Awesome.
You guys had mentioned earlier, you used the word culture, and you both are accomplished coaches. You got some chips under your belt. What does that mean coming into a new program now and trying to create a culture? And then Nick, what is it like to continue the culture that you have now?
Yeah, culture's a big deal. When I was fortunate, Northwest was my first job, so I was able to kind of build the program the way that I wanted to build it, the way that the kids kind of just bought into what we were doing. And sometimes just maybe a change of scenery creates a new type of culture. So I hope that maybe having somebody who's had a little bit of success kind of creates a little bit of excitement, changes a little bit of the mindset on the way the kids might want to do things, and maybe be willing to do something a little bit differently than they've done in the past, just to kind of change the ways that they do things might actually create a little bit better culture or help them out in the future. So
Dick, I think you remember that day in the States with Manchester. when I saw the Manchester guys coming down the way, I knew we were kind of in trouble because they had an attitude like they didn't care who they were playing. So there's another element, the mental element to baseball. How are we going to combat this year with the mental? Because we've got the talent, physical talent. We got to find a way to beat those hungry teams. So what are you going to do? What's your plan?
It harps on the Manchester game after we just went through a CCT tournament where we had to win 3 games in 4 days and then play a Southington team who was reigning champion. So, I mean, at that point we were just ran out of gas. I just don't think we ever recovered from that. And I think the guys that are returning understand that bounce back needs to happen quicker in order to reset and have, because every game we play is going to be a competitive game no matter what. And I think with the success that we had last year, that people are going to kind of circle us on their schedule, and we're not going to be able to kind of skate by like we have in the past couple of years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it was tough to put a schedule together this year. A lot of teams were ducking you. Those last 3 games to try to make 20 games, nobody wanted to play you. So you're going to play Connor, what, like 4 times this year?
I think that's more so because of my name and people know you, so they didn't want to play us.
Well, good luck to both of you guys. We're excited. Somebody told me the other day that baseball starts in like 18 days or something, and I said, 18 days? I said, we've been hitting for 2 weeks already on a Saturday morning, so baseball's already in session. So good luck to you guys, and Corey, welcome. And remember, make sure you circle that one game, that Mayor's Cup game. All right? Yeah. So thanks for coming in, guys. I know you've got to go to the Hall Connor game and get geared up. I never understood why Connor kids want to fight Hall kids, but I guess that happens. So badge 385 has got to get over there ASAP. So go ahead and do your thing. So thanks for coming. See ya. Next up, we're going to talk American Legion Baseball. We had another pretty good summer. We've got the U19 coach up here with Sean McCann. I'd like to invite up our U15 head coach, Stephen Ranieri. So let's start with the U19 guys. You had a pretty good season. Again, you guys coming off the 2023-2024 state championship. People were starting to circle their calendars with you guys. So you ran into some tough teams, especially in the state playoffs. So talk a little bit about your summer and what your expectations are for this summer.
Last year we had a group of young men that were a little unsure of what was going to happen, and that made me a little bit unsure what was going to happen. Fortunately, their talent would win the day, and now coming off a couple of successful years, I lost a core group of guys that just knew how to gut it out and win. Now I had a core group of guys that had more talent than those guys, but just they weren't sure what it took to get the W. The advantage now we're going to have in this year coming is that experience from last year, I think, puts us in a great position to be a little bit more dangerous this year.
Steve, your summer actually really started in the spring. You took the U14 West Hartford Thunder team. Started off a little slow. We put you in the East Shore League, put you in a couple tournaments, and it took you a while for that team really to establish who they really were and start to play. But in the summer, they really started rolling. But you did win a tournament that we've been going to for about 13 years called the Kevin Ambrose tournament for a fallen state trooper up in Massachusetts. And you guys beat a really good team up there. I think that was the day that your team actually came together. So talk a little bit about that spring and as it rolled into the summer with the U15, as you eventually went on to win the U15 Legion State Championship.
Sure. The 14 and 13-year-olds in the spring that year, Thunder, a lot of them were on the Big Diamond for the first time, and there was kind of a month and a half long period of, as Cameron was just saying, uncertainty as to what to expect on the Big Diamond, and it was very jarring at first because that East Shore League, some of the teams we played were tremendous. I mean, there were three or four Southington teams alone that had talent from, I think, multiple states. And they were pitching at, it was some of the greatest 13 and 14-year-old baseball talent I'd ever seen. And we got our butts kicked in several of those games, and I think that kind of lit a fire under a lot of them. So arriving at that tournament in Wilbraham, I think it was just a sense out there was we've already seen, and no matter what we see here, we've already been through it. And rather than losing our butts kicked again, let's try to rise up and beat them this time. So I think having gone through those, having kind of struggled the entire spring, set the tone and set the. And allowed the kids to rise up. I think it was 5 games. Lights on a really beautiful field. And Memorial Day weekend. The adrenaline really powered them through. And then the guys that did transition from that team into the summer, I think the hunger just to continue winning never left. And that was something that I talked about a few weeks ago. Is the 15-year group over the summer. They kind of pushed themselves and guided themselves to every victory. I mean, it was a hunger from day one all the way until the championship game. They wanted it, and they let the coaches know every single practice and every day. Coach, not over until we win. David Goggins mentality, I guess, for those of you who know who that is. And we just made sure that the ship stayed on course. There was really not a ton of course correction that had to be done because the kids wanted it that bad.
So what are you doing now? What are you going to do for this summer? Are you going to do transition up to the U17 team, or?
Yes, I think that's the plan.
And, you know, again,
Well, you had a great summer, a great spring, and we have a little award for you. You are the WABA Coach of the Year, 2025 Coach of the Year. We have one other recognition for the Legion program, and there's a lot of guys in this room know what it takes to run a Legion program, especially Gary Hunt and Bill Nardi, that did just about everything on their own for those years and probably did not have half the help that we have today. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but many years ago I was driving my Volvo S70 around Conard High School with a dragging screen in the back, and 4 police cars came running over, and we got this call that some guy was doing donuts on the field, and I said, well, I kind of am doing donuts, I'm getting the field ready. So, make a long story short, I did get a ticket, but that resulted in a meeting with the town leisure services and public works. And to their credit, they said, look, we know you, we know what you can do, go get your tractor. So today we have tractors at the 2 major fields. We have sheds, we have all that equipment. So, you guys would absolutely love it and say it's easy, easy now. So we had a general manager this year, Sean Farley, that really took that position to the next level. He's our person that intervenes with the post. We have a post members table right behind us here tonight with Mo Fredette and the guys. Without their financial support, we would not be half of the program that we are today. But Sean did a great job bringing all that stuff together, making sure all the kids had everything they needed. And there was not a day that I can remember that you wouldn't see him on the tractor or lining a field. I'd get there at 6:30 and I'd see this guy there at who the heck is on the field? And it's him at 6 o'clock in the morning putting lines down because he's got to go to work at 8. So general manager of the year, West Hartford Amateur Baseball general manager of the year is Sean Farley. I know his wife is here. Sean had a work situation tonight that he had to go to. So if his wife is still here, I'm going to make her come up and accept the award. Thank you. Which is awesome that you're accepting, because behind every baseball guy, there is a wife supporting all those crazy baseball guys. I know Kathy Hunt is here, and you remember all those days? Yeah, yeah. And my wife is over there saying, "Oh my God," you know. So congratulations. So we have a great opportunity here in West Hartford that a lot of young baseball kids don't realize we have. We have 2 colleges in town. We got University of Hartford, we got St. Joe's. You want to go see what it's like to play at the next level? Go watch those guys. You'd be surprised, a lot of kids don't do it. You know, they'll tell you they want to go play at the next level, but they're not really sure what that looks like. So if you ever have an opportunity to go over to St. Joe's, over to University of Hartford, it's great baseball. And we kind of have that luxury. So here tonight to talk a little college baseball, what's going on at their level. Everybody's talking about the portal and roster size reduction and things like that. It's getting tougher and tougher to put teams together. But from the University of Hartford, Steve Malinowski's in his 5th year. I think he's been coaching there for over 17 or 18 years, right? But 5th year as your varsity coach. So come on up, we're going to talk a little baseball. Steve? And entering his 3rd year to the brand new program in town, University of St. Joseph's, Coach Adam Goss was also named the American Legion Connecticut College Coach of the Year at the hot stove dinner we just had a couple weeks ago. So congratulations, Adam, and come on up, we'll talk a little baseball. So, Coach Mal, a lot of expectations. I know you have a lot of expectations. I think this may be your first full group that's all yours, guys that you selected, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we've had a group for the last, I think, 4 years of building kind of from the transition that we talked about a couple of years ago. We sat some of these recruits on the couch basically saying, by your senior year, we're going to be just like everybody else. There's going to be no more restrictions, no more postseason bans, and that's been the freedom we've been building for that for the last 4 years. And these seniors, we got one guy in the back, Joe Dooley, who's a captain for us now. That's what we've been building for, and this is the first year that we've been able to say that. So it's exciting, and we're really excited about the potential that our team has right now.
Awesome. And Coach, in your 3rd year, a lot of expectations. You guys had a great year last year. I think a lot of teams may have been overlooking you a little bit, but you beat some good teams, put up some good numbers. What's your expectations for this year?
Well, in this room, the most important game is the UHart game, and we didn't beat them, so they beat our butts pretty good.
I'm glad you said that, by the way.
Got it out of the way early. Yeah, so going into year 3, we're excited about what we think we can accomplish this year, but obviously, you know, I've been telling these guys, telling the coaching staff, we've gone from literally the least experienced team in the country 3 years ago to now probably one of the more experienced teams in the country. These guys, are seniors now, have been playing this is their third NCAA season, but they had a club season as well. So our seniors have 4 years of playing college baseball under their belts and playing, starting basically from the time they got on campus. And we've been able to add some really good players along the way. One of them's in the room, West Hartford guy, Jack Kane, had a standout freshman year for us last year. I know we're going to get into it later too, but the portal too has been good to us for the most part. So we're excited, but games aren't won in December and January. They're won in April, May, and we're looking forward to it.
Now, I got to tell you, the word on the street, since you don't have University of Hartford on your schedule this year, is that you're ducking them, according to the University of Hartford guys. Is that true?
Absolutely not. Didn't line up, but no, Mal and I were talking before. We got to do like at least a home and home every year from now on. But we're not ducking you, Hart. We just got to get them back on the schedule.
Yeah. So do you remember we did start a tradition last year called the Mayor's Cup? Do you remember that?
I think this is the time I have to go to the bathroom.
The West Hartford Mayor's Cup. Do you remember we talked about that?
Oh yeah.
So, and who won the game? University of Hartford?
Like I said, I got to go to the bathroom.
All right. You got to get them back on your schedule because you're going to want to get this cup. Coach McCann, can you help me and present the Mayor's Cup college version to University of Hartford to take this cup back to their campus and hang on to it until they get beat by St. Joseph? Yeah. So you got to get that cup back. So you mentioned you had, I'm glad you guys saw the players here. I was trying to get them to sneak in here. So you mentioned there's a couple players here, and that's by no accident. So I'm going to call up these players, and we're going to talk a little bit, all right? He's a senior right-hander, played at Hall High School, outstanding player at Hall, outstanding player at Post 96. Was out last season with an arm injury. I think he's going to come back full recovery for this year. He's a team captain this year. Joe Dooley, come on up, Joe. Don't be afraid to put a little hustle in over there, Dooley. Yeah, I know you're a pitcher, but yeah. The next player was a freshman last year over at University of St. Joseph's. He was the GNAC Rookie of the Year. That's their conference, GNAC. He was Rookie of the Year. He was a GNAC All-Conference first team. He played in the NEIBA All-Star game, which was very, very hard to get picked for that game. He was also the University of St. Joseph Rookie of the Year. He was All-American D3 top 10 for most of the season. I think he finished in the top 10. I can tell you that his coach calls me all the time and said, "You got any more guys like that over at West Hartford?" I'll take them. Jack Kane, come on up, buddy. A former Conard High School and Post 96 player. Yes, he did know about it. So guys, I just want to talk a little bit about, and I was hoping there were more high school kids in here that could hear your journey about what it was like to get noticed by a college team, to go in front of a college coach, to put yourself out there. So Joe, tell me a little bit about Hartford, because knowing Mal for a long time, he knew that a lot of West Hartford kids did not want to stay local, but he's happy to have you, and he's hoping you can stay another year next year to get your master's.
Yeah, that's the plan as of now. But yeah, good journey throughout high school. COVID was a little bit weird because it screwed up my sophomore year and my junior year in terms of recruiting. But for all the high school guys out there, I would just say it's very important to go to the schools that you would like to go or maybe want to go in the future. Go to their campus, go to their camps, their baseball camps, and just get in front of these coaches. Like Coach Mel, I remember you saw me I want to say junior year of high school. Went to the Hartford baseball camp, great experience, and Coach Ward and Coach Malinowski reached out to me after, and I was able to tour the campus. I've been there for many years, and they gave me the offer. But yeah, I think all the high schoolers out there right now, go to these campuses, get in front of these coaches, and yeah.
And first year at University of St. Joseph's, coming off a huge year. I gotta believe that maybe coaches were calling you or they're hoping your name was showing up in the portal. But I'm just excited that you decided to stay here local in town. I know coaches as well, but tell us about your journey and for staying in town here and playing for St. Joe's.
So I went to Conard. I enjoyed it. It was a fun time, fun coaches, everything, good competition. I enjoyed every second of it, obviously in West Hartford. And then I played with the Capitals my junior year going into my senior year. I got recruited. I played in front of some coaches. I played up in Mass, and Coach Goss was there, saw me play. It can be stressful. Like younger guys, the recruiting process can be thought of as like a stressful time, which it is. But then once you get on the field, you're just playing baseball. It's what you've been doing forever. So it's kind of a good way to go about it. And whatever happens, happens. Like the coaches aren't always looking for what you think. They can see like little things part of your game that you don't even know. Like they say, like walking from your car to the field can be a thing that matters, not how you perform in the game. And I talked to Coach Goss, and I liked everything he had to say. It was a good program, good coaches, and I got there, and the kids are like amazing. I love every second of it, and I didn't even think of it wasn't a thought to me about leaving. So
Tell me, who's tougher, Coach Goss or Coach McCann? Who's a screamer? Which one was a screamer? Any of them?
Nah, neither.
Joe, I heard Coach Mal's kind of a cupcake. A little tougher than I was on you, or what?
I wouldn't say a cupcake, but Coach Stanford, you did a great job to get us ready for college ball, and honestly, all of the great West Hartford coaches, like Coach McCann, Coach LaSpada, Coach Ranieri. I'm probably missing some people, but you guys did a great job to get us ready for college baseball. And yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Coach McCann, we actually have something for you guys. We appreciate you as players, as former players. Bigger than that, though, we appreciate you as young men, because when coaches call me for players, you were two guys that were really easy for us to have that conversation. And a lot of coaches, I know Coach Mal says it to me all the time. You get another guy like Dooley, I know Coach says it as well. You get another guy like Kane, send them our way. So you really have helped put West Hartford on the map, not only with your abilities, but you as young men and model citizens and students. So we appreciate that. We have a couple of things for you here. We have your actual uniforms. So Joe, you were number 14. I want you to take a look at that size of number 14. It was about half the size back then. But those are for you not to take. We are going to put those behind glass for you, so you can put them in your dorm room or do what you want with them. But you guys meant a lot to our programs, and we really appreciate you. And you set a good example for kids that want to go to the next level. So leave those with us. We'll put them in glass, and we'll get them to you guys, all right? So we appreciate that very much. Congratulations. And Coach Mal, if you need a We got a wheelbarrow for that cup. You want to take that back to campus? Yeah.
I really don't know if I'm going to have
That's why
room.
Dooley's here to take that for you, all right? But congratulations. I know Coach Goss is going to want to get you back on that schedule ASAP to take that home.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So I appreciate you guys coming up tonight. Thank you very much. Yeah. John Esposito, is he here? John Esposito? No? At this time, I'd like to call up a fellow inductee, was inducted last year in class of 2024, Hall of Fame. He's been more than that to us, especially to the guys at Conard. And I know Eric knows that as the president of the association or the fundraising program at Conard. This gentleman has been very, very close to that. In fact, they named the flight after him now from here to Florida, called the LaRock flight, 8 a.m. in, 8 p.m. out, same night. So I'm going to have Gary come on up. But before I do that, I do want to make note of another gentleman. We talk about volunteers. He's actually stepping down this year as a leader of the Chieftain or the Red Wolves fundraising baseball organization. So he left after 10 years. He did that. He started that up from nothing. And he's also, this year, he's been our president, West Hartford Amateur Baseball Association president for 10 years. So we really appreciate that. It's a milestone for him, and I'm going to make him sign a contract to stay on for another 3 years. You could do this remotely from, his wife's shaking his head, no. You could do this from Florida. It's easy. But Eric Mallinson, 10 years as the West Hartford Amateur Baseball Association president. We have a little something for you. Come on up. Yeah. I think you're really going to like this. It's very special because you handle all the calls, whether they're good, bad, or ugly, so, and the emails. So I recommend keeping that close to your office desk.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.
And take a sip before you respond to those emails.
She'll be drinking it for me.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we got a great treat tonight. I'm going to let Gary LaRock come up and introduce two of his good friends. And his two good friends are good friends with each other, and they've got some great stories. One of the gentlemen who was the first guy to do the ESPN Sports Centers back in 1979. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but I do. Small little black and white TV, I was watching it. So I'll turn it over to you and let you call them up. We'll talk some baseball.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is this one working? This is fine?
That one works, and this works too. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I've come to the conclusion, well, thank you. This is wonderful to be here. My wife Lynn and I enjoy this. We try to find reasons to be here. West Hartford's home. It will always be home. And the people, it's because of the people, clearly. But I have to say, in sitting here for Rick Sanford, we all owe him sincere thanks for all the work he does. But before, I get it, but before we congratulate you, I do want to say, I heard your discussion with your son, and I've come to the conclusion that the very first trade we're going to do, Corey Carlson's going to take you as the assistant, because you under your son is just not going well. Is that pretty fair?
Corey, I'm available. I'm free too.
All right.
Work for food.
You know, we have a lot of privileges in life, and one of them clearly is nights like tonight And I will give my short speech on the 6 people, the 6 inductees, just briefly if I could. For Shorty Dixon and Jack Sittars and Gary Lenholtz, they came through at a time in this town prior to Bill Nardi, my friend, and Gary Hunt, my friend. Those guys came through ahead of us. And I will say, as we said on the phone, and Rick remembers this, when we came through, we wanted to be like them. They were the real heroes of the Legion program, the town program. They built this all up. And then when Bill Nardi, as we remembered tonight, when we hit on the back fields here, which is now a parking lot, which I get, and it was a real memory for us. And for Gary Hunt and his dad to go through and all the things that the Hunt family did for this town is something to be extremely proud of. And then I couldn't go any further without saying Bob McKee very simply used to tell us, be mad, M-A-D, make a difference. And he made a difference, and he was this town to us. But this town is a lot of great people doing a lot of great things. And I thank you for all the work you're doing to build it all up. So thank you very much for what you do. I appreciate it. I will say I had dinner with George and Dan, and it's a privilege to introduce them because they've been lifelong friends, and they have remarkable careers. And if you add up their years together, it truly is, I mean, I hate to say, I said it tonight when we were eating, it's close to 100 years, you 2 guys together. And George said, but it's 100 years of people. And that's the difference. So let me introduce first, he started in 1977 as a head coach at Quinnipiac. He was there before that as assistant, and that takes you back a pretty good way. So he's approaching that 50-year mark of his involvement. He's still doing it, but now in a different role as an advisor to the program. But he spent over 20 years at Quinnipiac. He saw them through the first, if I'm correct, first Division I appearance in 2005. He went to the University of Hartford and coached a nice player by the name of Jeff Bagwell. In his development he'll talk about tonight, which is really remarkable. He's had a tremendous impact on kids and people, and it's a privilege for Dan Gooley, for us to invite Dan Gooley to West Hartford tonight. Come on up, please. And then his best friend, who drove him tonight, right, George?
Yes, he did.
He's your best friend, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Okay, well, he has to be tonight. He's driving you home, too. And
That's good thought, Gary.
and what's that? And for those, we all know, but George Grand has been a treasure in this state. And he's been a treasure in baseball. See, he doesn't want us to talk about him. But think of this, 30 years plus, it's actually 31, I think you forgot one. He's been the MC at Cooperstown for the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was the Cincinnati Reds broadcaster for 17 years. He's had a distinguished career, and he'll tell you he was a very good player at University of Southern Cal when they won the national championship. But besides that, he became everyone's friend in all of Major League Baseball and beyond. So thank you, George Graham, for being here. Come on, let's get on. Let's get on. Let's get on. Grab one of those mics, please. Here.
You take that.
Here, you take this one, please, sir. All right.
You sit there and I'll sit there.
So when you add up 100 years, the experiences run pretty deep.
Hey, you were a math major. We're not good at math.
Yeah, well, so I would take you back to 77, Dan Gooley, and you were the head coach at Quinnipiac. After a number of years of being an assistant, learning your craft, and talk to me, because tonight when I see all the young guys that are now at St. Joe's and at the University of Hartford and what they've done, and the young fellows coming through the program, you had a lot of mentors, didn't you? You had a lot of wonderful mentors and people.
I had a lot of great mentors, not only at the college level, but at the high school level. But the great mentor for George Grand and myself started in 1963 with a fellow by the name of Coach Sam Burrell, who was the baseball coach of the post-47 American Legion team. And he started us and he created something very special for us. He gave us an atmosphere of competition, an atmosphere of sportsmanship, a thought about developing as a player, but more importantly, developing as a human being. And that's where it all started for both of us, to tell you the truth. And then I was fortunate enough to go on to Quinnipiac and play there. And then in 1971, what seems like about 129 years ago, to tell you the truth, I started coaching there as an assistant. And then in 1977, I was named the head coach there. So it's been a great ride.
Well, the irony to that is you also, in 2005, were the head coach at Quinnipiac when you made your first NCAA Division I appearance.
Yes, that's very true. We fought through the North Atlantic Conference. We were lucky enough to win the regional, to go on to our first time at the Division I level, and we picked a very easy team. The NCAA selection committee picked a very soft, easy club for us to play in a little town down in Texas. We played the University of Texas. Their stadium held 6,000 people. They were it was completely full. They were undefeated at that time during the year, won 11 games starting in the tournament. They beat us in the first game. We were ahead 3-1 in the third inning, and I called Augie Guerrero, who was the head baseball coach at Texas, and we had a chance to speak in between innings. And I said, listen, we're going to take the game right now and go home. Is that okay? He said, not right now. And they turned around and beat us 11-3. But it was a great experience going to the University of Texas, and the University of Texas won the national championship in 2005.
That's great. And during all that time, George Grand was serving 17 years with the Cincinnati Reds after having started with the Yankees and the Cardinals for a few years in there. But the first thing we all remember was ESPN.
Right.
What was it like the first time?
Rocco was amazing. Just as tonight is amazing, I think, and this is fantastic. I mean, Marvel and I were talking that we're so honored to be here for a lot of reasons, but, you know, whether you grew up in New Haven or Hamden or West Hartford, we all share something. It's a love for the game of baseball, and you could feel it in this room. I mean, talking to Shorty, talking to Bill about the moments and the memories of being on the field, taking batting practice, playing those, as we were talking about, 5 games in 2 days. Is there anything better than that? Is there? And for all of us, to be a part of baseball has been the fiber that's kept all of us going. Dan and I have been teammates since high school. We're teammates today. I have one brother, some of you may remember, the older folks. My brother Carlo was in broadcasting too. He's my biological brother. This guy is a brother just as much. We've been blessed by being a part of baseball, by sharing the wins, the losses, the glory, the moments of elation, the moments of sadness, and I think we're all pretty fortunate, and we're honored to be here with you guys. But ESPN was pretty special. When we started, and you know, Rick, by the way, I think you were one of 8 people that watched that first show. And if you really want to know the truth, I didn't come here because Rock wanted me. I'm here scouting for ESPN because they're talking about replacing Stephen A. Smith. And I thought the Rick and Nick show would be a great, what? Right? But, you know, they said it would never work, it would never be done. It was pretty special. And just like all of us celebrate the relationships we had in baseball, we still celebrate the relationships that we had in those early days of ESPN. We just had a get together a few weeks ago, and we've seen people, I mean, we hired so many people from the University of Hartford, from UConn, students that were just getting out of college, the University of New Haven, Southern, Quinnipiac. About 40, 50 people. That's all we had in the beginning. And many of those people we're still friends with. They met their husbands or wives at ESPN. They have kids now. We had a reunion of about 400 people last year. and we're pointing towards the 50th anniversary of ESPN and having another. So just like our baseball teammates are special, those ESPN teammates are special too.
Well, and take us back, because you left and when you ended up with the Yankees briefly and the Cardinals briefly, what brought you to the Reds? I mean, what was it that had you leave two teams to then go to Cincinnati for what was 17 years?
Again, I've been blessed every place that I've been, blessed to play, blessed to be at ESPN for the 10 years I was there. Things start to change, and I'd always wanted baseball. Baseball, I mean, we grew up, Dan and I, our goal and our love of life was to be Major League Baseball players, as we all had. After a while, you realize that the curveball will get you. After a while, you realize you got to find another career to go into. And for me, broadcasting was something very special. I went to USC, as Rock was saying. My coach, Rod Dato, introduced me to Vin Scully. We used to have a game in January, a workout with the Dodgers, and Rod called me over and said, "Tiger, come on over here." And he said to Vin, "This young man's interested in broadcasting." And Vin said, "Well, give me a call." And I did. And I was blessed to have him as a mentor and a friend until the day he died. So blessed to do that. Blessed to be part of baseball at that point. And while I enjoyed all the time at ESPN, you know, we all split things up. I had baseball, Bob Lee had basketball, Chris Berman had football, Tom Mees had hockey. Right. Lou Palmer, who was here at WTIC for many years, he was our golf guy. We all had our specialty. I always wanted baseball, and the Yankee opportunity came. And for those of you, how many Yankee fans here? All right, I was blessed to work with the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto, who was like your old Italian uncle. I mean, holy cow, can you believe what's going on in the field? And Tom Seaver, who was a teammate of mine at USC. And for me, to have an opportunity to do that was great. Went from there to the Cardinals and then to Cincinnati for 17 years with Chris Welch, all told 30 years with the Cardinals. So blessed to be part of all that.
Well, you guys have had huge influences, and Dan, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about your time developing Jeff Bagwell as a player.
Well, I'm not so sure I actually developed Jeff Bagwell. He was a great player before I even got there in 1988. But I will tell you this, in 1988, there was a gentleman that walked into my office, he knocked on my door, and he said, "Welcome to the University of Hartford. I'm an alumnus here." And I said, "Yes, you are. But you are also the former head baseball coach here at the university, where I first met him in 1980. And his ball club was outstanding. He did a great job coaching that club. They did a great job, competitiveness. But the key to the whole deal was you could see that there was something very special in each one of these players. They respected the game. They respected the teams they played against. He's here tonight. He's going to get an award in a little bit. Bill Nardi. Bill, congratulations. There's another guy here from the University of Hartford. Before I talk about Jeff for a minute, I met him years ago. He's done a great job there. He did a great job with Justin Blood when they were at the Division I level. He's now doing a great job at the University of Hartford. I have a chance to spend some time with him during the course of the summer, and we talk about everything else but baseball, to tell you the truth, which is wonderful. He's here tonight, the head baseball coach at the University of Hartford, Steve Malinowski. And George and I would not be here tonight, but it wasn't for a gentleman sitting to my left who I had a chance to coach against in the early 70s when I was an assistant coach, and he developed at the major league level, and he jumped into Major League Baseball and is just retired after 51 years. And George and I are here tonight because of him. He's here, Gary LaRocque. I came to the university in 1988, and I met Jeff Bagwell. I met Chris Peterson and Pat Hedge and Todd Reynolds, a group of young guys that I'd never even known before, and all of a sudden, they took over my life. And in 1988, we only had 16 guys on the ball club. We had 5 pitchers and 11 positional players. And I used to tell the pitchers when they went out to start a game that afternoon, do yourself a favor. Don't look down in the bullpen because there's nobody there. There's nobody there. You're going the distance today. And I said I can always bring in Bagwell to pitch if I had to. But Jeff was a very special young guy. I had him for 2 years at the university. I don't think he said 24 words in 2 years. The quietest player ever. He just happened to be the greatest college baseball player in 1989 in New England. He is the guy who never said 2 words, and he would make you exhausted when you went to a practice session with him. And he was a pro when he was playing in college, and he turned around and he obviously signed with the Houston Astros. He was drafted by the Boston Red Sox. He was traded. He went to the Houston Astros, and in 1991 he was the Rookie of the Year. In 1994 he was the all-time Major League Baseball MVP. And of course, in 2017, Jeff invited my wife and my daughter, Bree, and myself to his Hall of Fame induction, which was absolutely fabulous. Jeff Bagwell is a great guy.
I'll give you one other tag to the Jeff Bagwell. How many Red Sox fans are here? Okay. I was there the day Bags was traded, and I just happened to be in the Red Sox offices there doing some interviews, and Mary Jane was the secretary for the general manager, and the rumors were going around that a deal was coming, and Bags was in the minor leagues at that point in time, and lo and behold, the word started to sift through the Red Sox offices that Bags had been traded.
That's right.
3 front office operatives for the Red Sox, I could hear the doors slam. The general manager, 2 assistant general managers left the building. And the general manager said to Mary Jane, I'm going, I may never come back again. They didn't want to trade him. The trade was made above them. And, you know, and another guy who we grew up with, Mac Galante, was the infield instructor for the Astros. He was traded to the Houston Astros, and they brought him to, you know, he was a third baseman, first a shortstop, and then a third baseman, and he went to spring training with the Astros, and they weren't sure what the heck to do with him, and they didn't have a first baseman, but they had this guy, Ken Caminiti, to play third, who was an all-star. So for 3 weeks, not only did he do his regular work, he'd never played first before, but Matt Galante made him a first baseman in 3 weeks.
Yes, he did.
And here he is sitting in the Baseball Hall of Fame as a first baseman. So the love that we have for the game, that's what Matt Galante had. And thank God that he had Bags in his hands.
Absolutely.
And when you talk of the Hall of Fame, 30 years as MC at Cooperstown for the Hall of Fame ceremonies, and for those who've been there, isn't it a remarkable experience? And this gentleman was the one who was the MC for all those years. That must have been a tremendous privilege.
An honor, and an honor because I got to know not just the Hall of Famers. I mean, I never had a chance to cover Joe DiMaggio or Ted Williams, but I got a chance to meet them. I got a chance
How about Babe Ruth?
Yeah. I think Gould was there when Ruth was playing.
There with Babe Ruth.
But it was, for me, the greatest part was to watch the families. Just as we talked about wives who were so instrumental in the growth of the young players, that not just the coaches, right, Coach? That's right. Mentor, but the wives, the mothers, who were so much a part of their history and their tradition, to see them get the glory of that day in Cooperstown. We're all part of a baseball family. We're all part of something very special. We're all part of a thread that goes through our lives that has driven us to love this game, that has driven us to love competing in this game, love coming back from the losses, enjoying the victories, That's pretty special. And to get the chance to watch somebody in Cooperstown get up and give a speech and watch their mother, their father, their sister, their wife sit there and look up with tears coming down their face as they get honored in Cooperstown, that's pretty special. And just one note, Gould mentioned them, but we're all part of this baseball family, and all of us that have been part of this Connecticut baseball family are honored, and we are blessed to have had this guy for 50 years in the game. Believe me, he was a great player on the field, yes. He was a great coach. He was a great scout. More importantly, he looked out for your kids. He looked out for the people that he had under him, whether it was as a scout or a coach or whatever, because he cared about playing the game the right way. He cared about running the game the right way. And I'll tell you very clearly, many of us for many years recommended this guy to be a general manager. He never got that job, but the Lord works in funny ways. He's blessed now with a wonderful wife, a great family. He's had a tremendous career in the game, and all of you are pretty fortunate to have Rock as part of your baseball family here.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, Dan, for both of you, we wish you the best of health. Enjoy what you're doing, which you're obviously making a difference, and you always have.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you for being here with our family of West Hartford friends. We really
God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
George, thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Rich.
really appreciate that.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
I've got just about 7:35-ish. We're going to take a little halftime break for about 15 minutes. Help yourself, coffee, tea, cookies, some pizza left. And when we come back in 15 minutes, we're going to do the raffle items very quickly, and then we'll get into our induction Hall of Fame. I anticipate getting everybody out of here no later than 9 o'clock at the latest. Yep. Because I know we're not going to let Lenny Burke talk tonight, so we'll get out of here definitely by 9 o'clock. Yeah. All right. So we'll see you in 15 minutes. Espo. All right, here we go for the second half. Awesome. You guys will get those. You give me a ticket. Get your raffle tickets ready. In tears around May, late May, and said, "Coaches, I'm not going to be able to play this summer. And I'm very, very disappointed." We said, "What's wrong? What's going on? What do we do?" "Well, Coach, I was just accepted to Princeton, and I'm going to go play football there." We're like, "Wait a minute, post 96, Princeton. If you made any other decision other than go to Princeton, ASAP, we would have changed that decision for you." But that's what the program meant to him. He was committed to the program, and now he's committed to the community about giving back. He is this year's event sponsor, a former Conard graduate, post 96 player, and a Princeton grad and football player at Princeton. He's here tonight as the event sponsor. We'd like to have him come up. We have something for him. John Esposito. Number 12. He is the president and owner of Rise Mortgage over on Main Street. So not only does the Post, or not only does Conard create great athletes, but they create great businessmen, great students, and great people. We have something for him. We actually have his uniform from Post 96, number 12. And John, I have to tell you, I was in your office a few days ago. You were traveling, so you know I wasn't there. But your office is a little sparse. So we're going to put that behind glass. And we're going to bring it to your office, and you can put it up in your office. But thank you for your support. It means a lot to us. Another young gentleman that you mean more to us than just a player. You've been a great gentleman, and we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we got some raffles. I know everybody wants to get that. We'll get that real quick. You guys give me it. Our president of the West Hartford Amateur Baseball Association, Eric Mallinson. We'd also like to call up Gary LaRock to assist us in the recognition, as well as somebody who's been down this path with the MLB organizations. George, if you could come up and show us how to do it, buddy, it'd be much appreciated. At this point, we'll turn it over to Eric. You got your notes and stuff?
Yes. Yep, right there in the...
Perfect. I'm going to do when it's Shorty. When is Gary Lindholtz?
After Shorty Dixon.
Okay, all right, I'll be ready.
Okay. Good evening. So I'm going to go off my script for just a second. Rick had mentioned earlier that I've been the president of WABA for 10 years. I am not a West Hartford native. I grew up in a very small town here in Connecticut called Durham. I met my wife. She is a West Hartford native. I've been involved in baseball here in West Hartford since my son was 4 years old, and my son is now 24. I feel like I'm a part of the West Hartford family after all these years, and it truly is a baseball family. I am very much involved in the day-to-day youth baseball and the high school baseball, and I can say there is a very big family feel to all of it here in West Hartford. So it's a testament to what happens here in West Hartford and to all the volunteers and all the folks that make all of this happen annually. All right, so let's get started with the induction portion of the ceremony. Good evening. As I said, I'm Eric Mallinson. I'm the president of the WABA Baseball Association. I am honored to welcome you here to the induction portion of tonight's celebration. West Hartford baseball has a proud and storied tradition built by players, coaches, families, volunteers, whose fingerprints are left on the field, the seasons, and the kids. Thank you to our special guests for sharing your insights earlier this evening on your perspectives to help shape the future of our game and here in our town. To our inductees, your dedication, passion, and impact both here in West Hartford and beyond have a lasting legacy to our planning committee. To a lasting legacy to our planning committee and volunteers. Thank you for your hard work to make tonight's event possible, and I am deeply grateful for you. As we begin the Hall of Fame induction, let's take a moment to appreciate what we're honoring tonight: excellence, service, and for the love of the game of baseball, the very qualities that make this community so special. It's my privilege to stand here with you and celebrate the people who gave back to West Hartford baseball. So let's begin. So the first inductee this evening is not an individual, but a legacy. For more than 75 years, the Hunt family has shaped and strengthened the game of baseball in West Hartford. Bill Hunt devoted 24 years to the Alumni League, including 19 years as president, 8 years as a coach, and his son Gary has carried that commitment forward with nearly 50 years of service. Their dedication is unmatched. WABA proudly names its biannual volunteer honoree, the Hunt family. Gary, come on up, please, and any other members.
It's a little bit overwhelming, to be totally honest. Wow. My memory is not as good as it used to be, so I have to write down stuff so I don't forget.
Join the club.
I want to thank first Rick Sanford and Eric Melanson and the committee for selecting me to be honored in the Hall of Fame tonight. I also congratulate Coach Nardi, Gary Lindholtz, Jack Sitars, Shorty Dixon, Coach McKee, and my father, who's been gone now for 36 years, Bill Hunt. My family, 2 tables worth here, including my 2 grandkids, Brinley, the 4-year-old, and Braden, the 8-year-old. It takes a village. Somebody said tonight, it takes a village to get something done. And I learned at a young age with my parents, and I say my parents, my dad's going in the hall tonight. However, my mom could be in here too. My sisters Karen and Kristen could be in here as well, because everyone in our family was committed to the West Hartford Alumni Baseball League. We all had a part in it. And when my dad got sick with cancer, it was time for me to step up to continue his legacy. And he went 24 years. I think I'm at 44 or 49. I'm a long time into it. So I went past him. Some of my friends have been a part of what I've done too. One of them, Kevin Keena, known as Cage, couldn't be here tonight. He's one of my brothers, but he could not be here tonight because of some health issues. And surely I miss him being here tonight, but I know in spirit and heart he is. Kurt Oberg and his wife Sherry. Kurt's a brother of mine too. Kurt came down from New Hampshire to be a part of this tonight, and it means everything to me. Jim Hungerford is not here. Many in this room know who Jim Hungerford is. I had the privilege to coach in youth baseball with Jim Hungerford for a lot of years, and so I wanted to mention his name as well. My dad was a true legend in baseball in West Hartford. As I mentioned, he passed 36 years ago, and the legacy that he left at that time was second to none. And I know he's looking down right now with a bunch of pride in his heart, knowing how special this is that my father and I get to go in the hall together. Coach Nardi, we started as friends playing against each other, Hall and Conard. He was captain at Hall, I was captain at Conard. We played against each other in college. We played with each other in the Hartford Twilight League. But probably the biggest impact Coach Nardi and I had was coaching together, starting in youth baseball, but finishing together in West Hartford Post 96 Legion. And we took over that program when it was not as successful as it is with Sean right now, but we kind of brought the life back to it, and we did it together. We went in as friends, and we exited as brothers. Bill Nardi is one of my brothers as well, and I'm honored to go into the Hall of Fame with Coach Nardi as well. Coach McKee. So Gary LaRock. Gary LaRock and I are two of the Coach McKee Garys. He always called us, "You guys are my Garys." And we had the privilege of playing for him, but more importantly, learning life skills through the sport of baseball. And I wanted to get into coaching 100% because of Coach McKee and the influence he had on me. I remember when I was elected captain of Conard Baseball, I got a letter from Coach McKee. It's in a frame. It hangs in my study at home. I cannot sit at my desk at home and not see the letter. And there's some other captains in here at Conard. You probably got similar letters. But I remember one of the lines in it is, "With every great honor comes an even greater responsibility." That's a life skill I learned from him, and it's in writing in front of me every day when I sit in my study. He also taught us what I call the 3 rules. Do what's right, do things to the best of your ability, You don't need to be the best. You need to be the best you can be. And we learned that from Coach McKee. And of course, the golden rule is treat other people the way you wish to be treated. I've tried to live up to that in my life. And my last comment on Coach McKee was, in addition to saying it's great to be alive every time you saw him, every time I saw him, Coach, how you doing? It's great to be alive. And he referred to me as son-type boy. I have numerous letters from Coach McKee, and he addressed it, every one of the letters, to son-type boy. And then some inspirational thing came through that letter, and I have all of them, every single one of them. Somebody tonight mentioned make a difference, MAD, make a difference. That's Coach McKeeism. He always said, be different. Make a difference in people's lives. Care about other people a little more than you do about yourself. It's overwhelming and an honor to be elected to the Hall of Fame with what I refer to as my two fathers, Bill Hunt and Bob McKee. Lastly, I want to mention my 48-year anniversary with my wife, Kathy. She's been through everything with me since we met in Conard High School at 15 years old. And she also has done a lot of work in support of me helping kids in West Hartford and these programs in West Hartford. Rick Sanford, you mentioned the tractors, wherever you are, Rick. You mentioned the tractors you have at Conard. Well, we didn't have tractors. We had Coach Nardi and Coach Hunt working on the field at 6 o'clock in the morning every day, and we affectionately say to each other all the time, we left half our life on the Conard infield, making that playable for our kids. Thank you, Kathy, for everything. Lastly, I have a situation going on in my life right now, and my number one supporter is my wife. And Jimmy Valvano is somebody we all know, and we know his speech. Never give up. Never, ever give up. Thank you to everybody in this room. Thank you to all of you guys. Like I said, I'm overwhelmed. I'm privileged. I'm honored. And God bless everybody. Have a great night.
Okay. Please.
Thank you, Gary. So next up on the list is George Shorty Dixon, one of the finest left-handed pitchers ever to come out of West Hartford, a standout Kingswood, Oxford, and Springfield College, where he had a record of 22-4 and was drafted by the Minnesota Twins. He later spent 38 years teaching and coaching at Kingswood, Oxford. George, could you please come up?
Congratulations.
Just relax. Rick Sanford said I could write a 45-minute speech. Just relax. I have to read most of it. got my Yankee socks on for good luck. My name is George Shorty Dixon. My father and brother Jim were tall guys. The three of us always hung around together. So I was the short one. That's how I got the name Shorty. Just have to throw this in. My dad played with the Savage Gems with Babe Ruth in the Hartford League. Savage Gems. Remember? POMG, peace of mind guaranteed. So I'm so proud of my dad. I have pictures. If you don't believe me, I have pictures. I apologize for reading a lot of this speech. I have had some medical problems as well. My family lives, they're spread out, California, Texas, Florida. So on a Thursday night, they just couldn't make it. Dale Baker and Carl Baker gave me a ride tonight. Please just stand up. Stand up. Wonderful friends. My queen at home, Kathy Chokas, she fell last Saturday on the ice, and she's been in the hospital since. Tomorrow, she's having surgery. 3 broken bones in her left leg. I want to thank the committee, Ed, Rick, Eric, and Dave, for nominating me. This is an honor and a privilege. David Francis' father, Frosty, was my basketball coach at Kingswood. Super coach. The floor is named after him now in Hewitt Gym. And he would say to me, Dixon, don't shoot. You throw up a knuckleball all the time. Please pass the ball to Joe Kabachka or Jack Sitars and run like hell back on defense. In a few minutes, I'm going to ask all of you, because you're all baseball smart, a situation, hypothetical situation, and I'm hoping someone can answer that, because when I was at my Springfield College Hall of Fame dinner, I asked this particular question. Nobody got it right, and I gave them the right answer at the end, and they all threw their napkins at me. I'd like to congratulate the other recipients of this West Hartford Hall of Fame. Gary Linholtz, fastest pitcher I ever faced or saw. He's in Florida now. Hi, Gary. How are you? Do you remember, can you hear me? Do you remember the last game at Norfolk Field off of Trout Brook Drive in our Little League careers? You played for the Lions, I played for Exchange. You were ahead 1-0, you were pitching, and I batted first in the last inning, and you hit me straight in the middle of the back with the ball. Well, I'll take my shirt off. You can see the stitches. Still, the welt is there. Only another half hour. Jack Sitars. Jack, best second baseman or shortstop in West Hartford at Kingswood and West Hartford Legion. Played against Jack and his my friend, Fran Spadola, in the minor leagues. Where is Bob McKee's family? You should be so proud. You should be so proud. That gentleman was a friend to me and just a wonderful coach, super coach at Conard in football and baseball. I went to one of the Conard football games later on after he retired, and I spotted him up in the bleachers, so I sat with him, and you won't believe that during the football game, we actually talked more baseball. Congrats to all the recipients, Bill Nardi and the Hurt family as well. Now my question to all of you. Hypothetically, now this is hypothetically, Carl Baker is on third base, slow as a molasses. Jack Sitars is on second base, fast as the wind. 90 feet for each base. So I'm coaching third. I'm standing, my hand up, and I'm going to say, go. Who won? Who won? Carl Baker won. He slid into home before Jack slid into third. Now my last question, why? Come on, somebody give me an answer. Wild pitch. Sorry. Oh, come on, there's got to be something out there. Come on, coaches at Kingswood. Brad, suicide squeeze, no. Sacrifice fly, no. All right, I'm getting off the stage. Don't throw your napkins. You all know that Baker beat Sitars because between second and third, there's a short stop.
We're going. We got to go that direction. Yes, go that way.
We got a jacket. They got a jacket for you, Coach.
No.
Congratulations, Shorty. So next up, Gary Lindholtz, a Conard pitching legend, a three-sport athlete, holder of a 22 strikeout no-hitter, and the first Conard alumni to sign a pro contract. He pitched for the Boston Red Sox and the Cincinnati Reds organization. Unfortunately, Gary couldn't be here tonight, so Rick is going to receive the award in his place. So Rick, come on up.
Sorry, you got to listen to me one more time. As we were reaching out to a lot of the inductees, it was hard to find some folks and get through to them, and Gary was one of those people. Can you imagine receiving a phone call on your cell phone, 860-216-7777? That sounds like a spam call, but that's actually my cell number. So after he hung up on me about 3 or 4 times, I found a way to get to his company and actually got his receptionist and said, it's not a prank call. It's guys from Connecticut want to talk to him about baseball. So he did call me back. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here. He's really excited. The more he thought about it, the more he got enthusiastic. He sent me a little thing that I'd like to read to you. It's pretty good. I'll go as fast as I can, but these are in his own words. I'm writing this rather long baseball autobiography, so you can select whatever material you find useful. My baseball career started in West Hartford in 1954 and ended in 1964. And was nothing short of sensational. The community support, along with talented coaches, propelled me to professional baseball career at the young age of 17. In the farm league, ages 8 to 9, I ran into my first controversy. At age 8, I was striking out almost every batter that I faced. And I love to listen to his story because he went on and on about that. The parents from the opposing teams threatened to pull their kids from the league. So we went to the board, the West Hartford Youth Baseball Board, and I was allowed to pitch at the age of 9 in the 12U program. And it made an exception for me. And fortunately for everybody involved in the town, they granted this wish, and I joined the Lions Club in 1955. Years of obvious success led to a high school and Legion career in the mid-60s. Incredible Legion rivalries with Bristol was only surpassed by our Connard team of 1964. We reached the state tournament for the first time. Game 1, as an underdog against Norwich Free Academy, I threw a no-hitter and struck out 22. 2 days later, I struck out 15 against Weaver and got the win. 2 days later after that, I pitched 16 1/3 innings and struck out 23. So in 5 days, I pitched 35 innings, gave up 2 runs, and struck out 60 players. Even though my arm was completely dead, I tried 2 days later to finish the job in a state championship game. Unfortunately, we lost 6-0, but my 92-mile-an-hour fastball was just barely reaching 85. Many people, including my parents, begged me not to pitch that final game. But I loved baseball. I loved the amateur sports. I was the captain. And most of all, I could not let Coach McKee down and the rest of the team. It was hell to high water I was going to throw in that final game. 44 innings in 7 days was simply too overwhelming. But ironically, they were actually the better team. And we didn't score any runs. It was a sobering moment, but character-building event that served us all down the road. The structure of West Hartford baseball from 1954 to 64 was truly a benchmark and an example for the rest of the communities to follow. And yes, I was the primary beneficiary of that. Though I never actually pitched in the majors, I am very proud to have been a member of the Boston Red Sox and Cincinnati Reds 40-man roster. Many of my teammates were legendary, such as Johnny Bench and Pete Rose. By being on that roster during spring training months, I spent with the other 39 members, so I pitched with and against many superstars. A permanent arm injury ended my career in March of 1968. No regrets, and always remembering where it all happened. West Hartford, Connecticut, as good as it gets, and I am eternally grateful for this honor. In closing, a tribute to Coach McKee, and these are in Gary's words. I've had the opportunity to reflect back on many coaches and managers that I played for throughout my amateur and professional careers. No one had more of a positive impact on my life than Coach McKee. I truly believe he was more interested in developing your character as a young man than furthering your skills as an athlete. Transforming young, cocky, junior high school athletes into humble but confident team players was his special gift. Beware of the stare was his hallmark DNA. It preceded and followed every stern message directly, openly at you. We're all graced by his presence today, greatly appreciated to be in his Hall of Fame. I'm certain he is smiling from above and will never be forgotten. Those are the words from Gary Lindholtz. We'll make sure he gets his award mailed down to him. He did send me something I thought was very interesting. One year the Reds had a young artist come in, and Gary was selected with 4 other players, and they did a portrait of him. So this is the original portrait, and he would like Connor to have this. All right, so we'll make sure it gets over there in the gymnasium hallway, I think, where you have a lot of the other stuff. So I'll give this to Eric Mallinson and the Friends of Connor Baseball to make sure it gets in the right place. Also, there is a plate, I guess, that was made for this portrait. So we'll have another couple printed and put in our WABA building as well. So he's much appreciated. I think although he told me he does not own a computer, he was hoping to find somebody in his office that would get him on. So he may be watching tonight. So congratulations, Gary. And we'll make sure we get your stuff down to you. So thank you.
So next up is Jack Sitars, called the most complete baseball player by his coach at Kingsford, Oxford, and was a Wesleyan star who later played for the Boston Red Sox organization. Jack, come on up, please.
Congratulations.
Well, good evening, everyone. I first want to express my gratitude to the Hall of Fame committee for this great honor of being inducted into their Hall of Fame. It does mean a lot to me to have that recognition. I want to also congratulate all the other inductees, all very well deserved. I did have the sometimes privilege, sometimes misfortune of trying to bat against Gary Lindholtz coming up through the Little League. And the best way to describe it as a batter stepping into the box against Gary was you just prayed that he didn't hit you with his fastball. And secondly, prayed that he would throw 4 balls and walk you so that you could get on base. Otherwise, it was an automatic out. Every time you batted against him. He was a terrific player. Shorty Dixon and I played for 3 years in high school together at Kingswood School, and then 3 years on the American Legion team post-96. He's a great ball player, great pitcher, also a great hitter. So when he was not pitching, you'd find him at first base, spraying line drives to all fields. And when he got up to bat, it was a privilege to play with Shorty, to know Shorty. Congratulations, especially to you for your induction. I want to thank all of my family members and friends who came out tonight on this cold, chilly evening to support me and to support this event. Your presence here means a lot, and I'm very grateful to you for coming out. I did want to just take a moment to mention the names of 5 people who were very instrumental to me in helping promote my baseball career, starting with my dad, Ed Sitars, who was a great ball player himself. He taught me all the fundamentals and worked with me over the years to improve my baseball skills. My 2 uncles, Jack Scully and Bill Scully, are great baseball players in their own right. They're great pitchers, pitched in the minor leagues, and they took a strong interest in my athletic career, especially baseball, and were very encouraging to me over the years as I began to progress up the ladder with playing baseball. And then the last one I wanted to mention was my high school coach, who also happened to be my American Legion baseball coach, Bob O'Brien, affectionately known as Obi. He was not only a great baseball coach, but he was also a student of the game. He knew more than anyone I ever met about the history of baseball. He knew the rule book backwards and forwards, and he was a great mentor for me and did a lot to help me progress in terms of my baseball abilities. When I was a senior in high school, we finished the post-96 season that year. Shortly after that, I just should mention that we had a really excellent post-96 team. Gary Lindholtz was on it the first year. Shorty Dixon was one of our star pitchers. We had so many other good players on that team, and always competed for the top spot in the Zone 1 standings. When the last season of my American Legion ball ended, shortly thereafter, I did get a letter from the Boston Red Sox inviting me to a tryout camp that they were holding. I gladly accepted their invitation, went to the camp, participated in all the drills, and then participated in the inter-squad game that they had. Did pretty well. I ended up going 2 for 5 in the game with a single and a home run. Played well in the field, and at the end of the day, I was thinking, I think I did okay. Maybe I'll be hearing from the Red Sox again in the near future. Well, that didn't happen. So off to college I went, played 4 years of baseball down at Wesleyan University, and at the same time in the summers played in the Twilight League, the Hartford Twilight League. And in that fourth year of college ball, playing in the Twilight League, I also got recruited to play on the Bristol team in the Connecticut Collegiate League. And the beauty of that was that that Collegiate League played all of its games on the weekend, whereas the Hartford Twilight League played all of its games during the week. And so that summer was very busy for me playing baseball, a couple of games a week during the weekdays and a couple of games on the weekend. So there was a lot of baseball being played. And I ended up having a pretty good year that summer. Ended up leading the Collegiate League in batting. And I think it may have been that caught the eye of the local Red Sox scout. And so after one of the games, he approached me, asked me whether or not I'd be interested in playing professional baseball. Of course, I said I was, but I had to explain to him that I had already been accepted to law school. And I was preparing to begin my first year of law school that September. He indicated to me that that wouldn't be a problem for the Red Sox, and shortly thereafter they sent me a contract, which I quickly signed, sent back, and then I went off and began my first year in law school. That next spring, when spring training rolled around, the Red Sox sent me down to their spring training minor league facility. I got to play on the fields with the likes of Dwight Evans, Carlton Fisk, Rick Burleson, and Cecil Cooper. They were all down there that same year in the minor league camp. I went back up to finish my first year in law school. When that was done, the Red Sox sent me down to their team in Winter Haven, Florida, where I joined a team whose season was already underway. And so I was kind of an add-on player to that roster. It was a pretty full roster to begin with, and had a number of different middle infielders on the roster already. So playing time was at a premium. But to make matters worse in that regard, the starting shortstop on that team was Rick Burleson, who many of you would remember was the star shortstop of the Red Sox and became an all-star shortstop. So at the end of June of that year, beginning of July, the New York Penn League minor league season was just beginning, and so the Red Sox, as many teams did, transferred a number of us players from the Winter Haven team down in Florida down to, or up to Jamestown, New York, to play on the Red Sox team in that league. They also transferred a number of players from their team in South Carolina up to Jamestown. So we all assembled up there, and that season was about to begin. And I was very pleased to find out that they had designated me to be the starting shortstop on that Red Sox minor league team. To me, a great coincidence and kind of an amazing coincidence was that the starting third baseman on our Jamestown team was my good buddy, longtime teammate through the West Hartford leagues, Mr. Franz Bedola. He was the third baseman who started on that team. I started as the shortstop. So West Hartford alumni comprised one half of the starting infield of that minor league team, which was kind of a thrill, and I think was a great testament to the quality of West Hartford baseball at that time. I won't go into more detail about the season, but I thoroughly enjoyed playing in the minors. Shorty mentioned that we actually played against each other in that league. I think, in fact, he pitched against us one night at our ballpark. And but as the season drew to an end, it became apparent that our team was going to be without its manager. The manager of our team was Jackie Jensen. Some of you may recall he was a former star outfielder for the Boston Red Sox, and in 1958 he became the American League MVP. He was a very nice gentleman, and I enjoyed playing for him. But he was also the coach at the University of Nevada baseball team, and they were beginning their fall season, and he was committed to be back on their campus to begin the fall season before the last game of our season up in Jamestown. And the same thing was true of our assistant coach. Our assistant coach was Dick Berardino, who was the head baseball coach at Holy Cross at that time. He likewise had to be back on campus before the last game of our season. And so Jackie Jensen pulled me aside a few days before the last game and told me he was appointing me to be the manager of the team for our last game, which was a home game against the Houston Astros team. And what a thrill. I'm thinking to myself, gee, I'm about to become the manager of a professional baseball team. What a thrill. And it was a thrill. It was a lot of fun. The game arrived. I went out before the game, exchanged the lineup cards with the umpire and the opposing manager. When our team batted during the game, I was in the coaching box at third base, giving all the signs that needed to be given to my teammates. And the long and the short of it is we won the game. We beat the Astros team 5-3, and so I immediately retired as a professional baseball coach with a one-loss record of 1 win, no losses, and a winning percentage of 1,000, which I'm pretty sure is never going to be beaten by any professional baseball coach in the future. I want to close by just sharing one kind of humorous situation which developed many years after I stopped playing baseball. At that point in time, I was a practicing trial lawyer. I was out at the Superior Court House in New Britain, getting ready to pick a jury in a case of mine that was scheduled to go to trial. And as many of you know who have had jury duty service, the way it works is that the court summons a whole bunch of people in from the community to report to that courthouse in order to be questioned by the attorneys to see whether or not they would be suitable to serve on the jury for that case. And so that time arrived. I was in the courtroom. The other lawyer was in the courtroom. The judge comes in to the front of the courtroom, sits on the bench, opens court. The court clerk brings in this large array of prospective jurors who are seated now in the back of the courtroom. Myself and the other lawyer are sitting in the middle of the courtroom at the counsel table, and the judge is up in the front of the courtroom. So the judge then begins the instructions to this group of jurors. And it goes like this. Ladies and gentlemen, the lawyers are about to introduce themselves and their clients, and then they're going to read a list of names of all the people that they expect are going to give testimony in this case. And I want you to listen very carefully to all the names, because when the lawyers get done, I'm going to ask you if you've recognized any of those names. So that all takes place, and a number of people in that panel excuse me, raise their hands as having known one or more of the names. And I'm still sitting at the counsel table with my back to the group of prospective jurors. And as the judge is going through one by one, yes, ma'am, who did you know, what were the circumstances of your relationship, and so forth, about the fourth or fifth person in, the judge says, okay, sir, who did you know? And with that, I hear this very strong male voice coming from the back of the courtroom saying, I know Attorney Sitars, the greatest second baseman the town of West Hartford ever produced. With that, the courthouse erupted with laughter, and got a real kick out of that. I turned around to see who it was, and lo and behold, it was my good buddy and friend, Shorty Dixon, who was there on the panel. Of course, because of our relationship, Shorty could not sit as a juror on my case, so he was not allowed to do that. As a matter of fact, I never got a chance to thank Shorty for that very kind and generous compliment that he gave to me. So I'll do that right now. Shorty, thank you very much. The fact is, I'm sure you folks can all appreciate that as a trial lawyer, you take every bit of help you can get when you're on trial in a courtroom. And so, to whatever extent that wonderful, supportive comment of yours reached the ears of all the other jurors who were there in the courtroom, the other lawyer and the judge, I thank you for that. We did win the case, by the way. So, with that, I'll end. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much.
All right. Excuse me. Next up, Coach McKee. So, lots been said about Coach McKee tonight, so I don't need to spend too much time talking about him. I've heard a lot of great stories about him from Gary and others. He is a coaching institution, or was a coaching institution in West Hartford. He led Hall and Connard baseball for 28 seasons with 239 wins and 9 CCIL championships. Inducted into the SCA Hall of Fame. Please come on up, the McKee family, and receive the honor. Congratulations. You're welcome. Yeah, absolutely.
My name is Rob Sersasimo. I am Bob's son-in-law. I'm here to represent Coach and his two lovely daughters, Debbie and Cindy. Obviously, Debbie's my wife, not Cindy as well. Sometimes I think so. My son and daughter, my daughter's partner, Eddie Lidos, my daughter-in-law, my daughter-in-law, Meg. It's fitting that Coach McKee is being honored tonight by the West Hartford Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame. Before I start to talk about Coach McKee, I would certainly like to congratulate all the other winners of the award tonight. It's ironic that as a young 15-year-old, I would go watch Shorty and Jack play at Kingswood. That was after I got kicked off the old wooden track for riding my bike around the track. And I did that often, and I got in trouble often for doing that, but I always went to their games and had the opportunity to watch them play. And they were great. They were great. And then I was fortunate enough to watch Gary Hunt play and be a friend. And then watch Billy play at the old Hall High School. Following Coach McKee, he's right now looking down on me right now, and I can feel the glare, and I can feel the pressure of following him. When you think of Coach McKee, you think of greatness. Great person, great coach, great family man. He could make you feel as big as this ceiling, and he could also make you feel like you could sit down on that step and not be seen. But you never left him feeling down on that step. You always left him feeling up on the ceiling. And that was a very appropriate way for him to lead and coach. He was my mentor. And I had two great mentors in my life before I met him. My own father and Frank Robinson from Hall High School, who coached me in football. It's also ironic that I'm here at a baseball awards assembly. I played for City Club with Steve Lovett, coached by Mr. Lovett, and I had to be the worst player on the team. But I tried hard. The great thing about Coach McKee is that you always had his support, and you always knew exactly where you stood with him. And he would often call his boys my son type, my son boy, my son type boy. But I was fortunate enough to actually be his son. And yes, I got a letter from him as well, Gary, the day I married Debbie. Still have the letter. Absolutely great, great man. And should be remembered in the history of West Hartford. First baseball coach at Conard, first football coach at Conard, first wrestling coach at Conard, started wrestling in West Hartford. The master teacher and the master mentor. I won't keep you anymore, but know this. I am blessed to have had the privilege of being mentored by him. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
He's smiling. Yeah, he's smiling. Coach, go that way. Yeah. Thank you. All right. So last but not certainly least, Bill Nardi, a leader on and off the field, Hall High School captain, Amherst College standout, professional ball player in Europe, and longtime celebrated coach, on his 72nd birthday, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Please come on up.
Batting practice starts in 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Batting practice. I threw a lot of batting practice in high school. Fish, not compared to any of these guys. So, one thing you'll notice tonight, it happens all the time. Baseball coaches love to talk. Love to talk. So I'm going to try and break that one on this one. I'll be quick. So Gary Hunt always went before me. That's great. He's a class act. He's a hard worker, and he's a great friend. And I mention that because he's the one that we have a ball with when we were at the field at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning, raking and laying down, striping the lines. We had a great time. And it was interesting that he comes up and he mentions he's a Springfield College graduate. So we had a ball, since I was an Amherst graduate, arguing who was the smartest, who knew the most, who could yell the loudest, who could threaten the kids more. But it's great, so it's nice to hear there's a few other schools out there other than those two. But we had a ball together, yucking it up, and Bob O'Brien was very influential on me in my playing days. I was a catcher and didn't have much coaching in high school or junior high, and Obie took me under wing and said, "Stay with me and I'll get you going." And I became a pretty good catcher, thanks to him. Thanks to him. We went through times in the family during the summer when we were all over the place because my son was a bit busy playing AAU baseball, and my daughter and my wife are off to the beach and the parks. And so I asked them, I said, "Do you girls mind if we play baseball this summer?" Dad, do you think we care whether you're out here or not? You're never around anyways. So I was safe from that. And then I'll give my little trivia question. What are the 5 ways to reach first base without hitting the ball? Think about it. All right, thank you very much. Nobody wants to take any stabs at it? Let's. What do I walk?
Hit by pitch.
Hit by pitch.
Drop third strike.
Drop third strike.
Catcher's interference.
Catcher's interference.
Walk.
No, you got to get on base. You got to have a balk called on you. No, it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Walk him on purpose.
The intentional walk was mentioned. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's going to be a long one to get because it's obscure. It's the last one is pinch runner. So you know, Gary and I had a ball arguing that one. It was with Springfield tough guy and the Amherst Wimp. We were good friends and had a ball with it. So anyways, I'm a little bit nervous now, but that's okay. It's been great. It's been a great night. It's been fun listening to all the war stories. It's been fun hearing the names that were a little bit ahead of me in the American Legion. It's nice hearing the names and seeing some of the activity that they had. So anyways, I just want to say thanks for that. Thank you all for loving the game of baseball. It's a special thing. The camaraderie that's expressed and shed when we play is just amazing. So baseball is a great game, and I appreciate it. And thank you all for paying attention and having fun tonight and doing the best you can. Okay? Love you guys. Let's play baseball.
All right. That concludes our induction ceremony and our event for the evening. As you can tell, that baseball is alive and well in West Hartford. We will be back in 2 years to do this again. We are going to be doing this on a biannual basis. If you have a thought about somebody that has impacted baseball in West Hartford that may be worthy of being inducted, please figure out a way to reach out to us. We have a website, waba.org. Send an email. and we will, in 2 years, consider all new nominees that potentially could be inducted here in 2028. I hope you had a good evening. Congratulations to all the inductees. Some great accomplishments. Thank you for everybody for coming, and have a wonderful evening.